Hello fiber friends, happy April, and today we will be learning the Tunisian crochet weave stitch. Now this stitch is a combination of simple stitches and purled slip stitches, which is going to be very interesting. I have grown a little distaste for purled stitches in Tunisian crochet, but they do make some gorgeous products. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off with our slip knot, which you will take your yarn and flip it over on itself so that you create a little X right here. Hold that X in place and take your two fingers and your index and thumb, push it through behind that loop you just made, grab onto that working yarn which is connected to the big ball of yarn, and pull it through until it's tightened. Today I will be using a 10mm Tunisian crochet hook, which I usually do, just so that you can see the stitches a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier to see my working. Now what we are going to do, because this stitch requires multiples of 2. It could be however long you want, as long as it's an even number. So I am going to work our traditional number 10, and so I will make 10 chains. And to do that, we will take our working yarn, grab it with the crook of our hook, and pull it through the loop of that slip stitch we just made, and that is considered our first chain. And we're going to do that again. We will grab that working yarn with the crook of our hook and pull it through that loop that we just made, and that is our second chain. We're going to continue that until we have 10 chains. So then, once we are done, we're going to flip it over so that we see all the little back bumps that are made, and we're going to be working into those back bumps. Now I like to work with the tip of my hook right here instead of this one here, just for the back bumps, because it is easier to slide it through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip this first bump here that's immediately right after the loop that's on our hook. We're going to skip that one and go into this second one, push the tip of our hook through that bump, through right there, yarn over, and with the crook of your hook, pull that working yarn through that bump. I'm going to show that again in the next bump here. You will take the tip of your hook, push that in to that bump, push it all the way through, yarn over with your working yarn so that you can now pull that yarn with the crook of your hook through that back bump. That's 2. We're going to continue that all the way down until our last little bump. And so this is where we should definitely count all of the loops that are on our hook, just to make sure that we have the exact amount of loops of stitches that we want. I wanted 10 stitches, and so I should have 10 loops. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take our working yarn right here, and with the crook of our hook, we're going to pull it through one of those loops. Then we're going to grab that working yarn again and pull it through 2 loops, and we're going to continue to pull through 2 loops all the way down. Now, this part is optional. Usually, when we work our foundation rows, we go all the way until there's only one loop left on our hook. This time, we are going to use a color changing method. This is going to be our secondary color right here. This is completely optional. For anyone who is not doing a secondary color, you can completely skip this and just work it normally with your original color and continue to work it that way. For anyone who is color changing, you will take your second color, take it with the crook of your hook, and pull it through the last 2 loops. So you're going to finish off this row with your new color. Just like so. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to skip this first loop. Now this loop right here will always count as our first stitch, so we're always going to skip this loop right here. And what we're going to do is we are going to work our Tunisian crochet purled slip stitch. We're going to do that as our first stitch. So a slip stitch is when you see this loop right here. We're going to insert it into that bar that's closest to us, and then you leave it there. That's a regular purl, like a regular slip stitch. Now what we are doing is a purled slip stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our working yarn, bring it to the front of our work, so it's going to be in front of our hook, and then we're going to insert our hook into the bar that's closest to us. Now because this is a slip stitch, we're not going to yarn over or anything, but what we do need to do is take our working yarn, bring it down and around our work, and then go immediately into our next stitch. So this little loop, the next loop right here, that is our next stitch. The bar that's the closest to us, we're going to insert our hook in that bar, take our working yarn, yarn over, and pull through. You can already see how it looks because of this color difference. There's the new color down here with the old color up here, and then the new color right there. We're going to be alternating this throughout our work. So our next one will be the same purled slip stitch. So we're going to bring our yarn to the front of our work, in front of our hook rather, with that loop, the bar that's the closest to us, insert our hook into that bar, take our working yarn, go underneath the hook and that stitch, and go around to the back of your work so that it basically crosses right in front of it. Now we move on to our next stitch, where we insert in the bar closest to us, yarn over, and pull through. And we're going to do that all the way down to the end of the row. So we made it to our last end stitch, where you see that loop right there with another little bar of yarn going to the outermost side. We're going to work into that loop right there, yarn over, and pull through. And this is how it should look so far. Now what we're going to do is our back pass, where we grab our working yarn, pull it through one loop, then we're going to grab our working yarn with the crook of our hook and pull it through 2 loops. We're going to continue to pull through 2 loops all the way down. So, for anyone who is color changing, you're going to go all the way until you have 2 loops left on your hook. For anybody else who's not color changing, you can just go straight through and then start working on the next row. But for the color changers, we are going to drop this secondary color, and we are now going to pick up our first color that we were working with, because we did not cut that off. We're just going to pick that up and pull it through the last 2 loops. And that is our color change. This is how it's supposed to look so far. Now, we are going to now work that next row, again with an alternating pattern. So, what we're going to do is we are going to skip this first stitch right here. We're skipping this loop because this first loop on our hook counts as our first stitch, as per usual. If you are not working with 2 colors and you can't see which color is supposed to be for what stitch, a good indicator is this bar, this little yarn bar that's going across each stitch. That was our purled stitch, our purled slip stitch, anything that has that bar going across. So because that was purled, the next stitch on top of that is going to be the simple stitch. So what we're doing is we insert the hook in the bar closest to us, just like so, yarn over, pull through. So this, because it doesn't have a bar over it, it was a regular simple stitch. What we're going to do is the purled slip stitch. So we're going to bring our yarn in front, insert our hook in the bar that's closest to us, bring the yarn around to the back, and move on to our next stitch, which again was the purled stitch before, so now we're working a simple stitch right on top. So you insert the hook in the bar closest to you, yarn over, pull through. And you're going to be alternating that all the way down. Okay. Don't mind that little knot there. I'm just that's just my yarn. Bad quality yarn. Anyways, this is how it should look so far. We worked our end stitch just as usual, as you can see, with the loop right there and 2 of the bars right at the end. Just like usual, just like the previous one. This is how it looks so far. And we're going to take our working yarn, yarn over, and grab it with the crook of our hook. Pull it through 1 loop. Grab that working yarn and pull it through 2 loops, and continue to do that all the way to the end. So, for anyone who is working 2 colors, this is where you will do your color switch when you have your 2 loops left on the hook. You will drop that color you were just working, bring back the other color, the working yarn of the other color, bring that up and pull it through both of the loops to finish off that row. You are going to continue this pattern alternating between slip stitch, simple stitch, or slip, purled stitch, and simple stitch. I'm going to continue and work a few more rows up just so that you can see a better idea of how a full, kind of a bigger sample of this should look. So this is the Tunisian Crochet weave stitch. It is gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it's the colors that I chose or if it's the stitch itself. I'm gonna claim it's the stitch itself because it is beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite stitches because you can see how it kind of interlocks with each other. Oh, it's so beautiful. It drapes really well. Like, you can see just how flexible it is. It is not really prone to curling too much other than this bottom one where it curves this way. So you can probably do that as like a wall hang or something, or if you are better at keeping certain tension than I am, then yeah, you can make clothing, you can make accessories, honestly anything you want with this stitch. This is super gorgeous. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that I can see some more items with this stitch. Alrighty, happy crafting!